All right, I am back from Sea Otter. Had a great time, but I'm back from the dead. They got super sick, and I'm finally up and about and tying up loose ends. I have a lot of scoop to tell you about, so some really good news, and I have some products to show you guys, and maybe some rumors and whatnot. Maybe I'll spread some rumors, right? So thank you to my son for hanging out with me. It's a local event for us, and he grew up Sea Otter when he was 1 year old, and now he's a working man. Had to take some days off and to be my photographer, videographer. But he's gonna help me test products, so super cool. The stats from the event, very successful for sure. About 1,000 companies showed up, paid a lot of money, and to be with the consumers. About 80,000 people attended over the 4 days. So that's as big as it's ever been. And there was so much product, it was really kind of hard to absorb. So that's the great news about it. The bad news is it's Laguna Seca, meaning it's harsh desert tundra conditions. Even when conditions were perfect, it was still very harsh, meaning very, you get burned in the afternoon, you freeze in the morning, and especially at night if you're out there camping. So, and the other hard part about this is it seems to be, it's like a football game and MLB game these days, meaning they're gonna charge you as much pain as you could bear. So, $25 a day to get in there, parking a mile away. So far, even for media, I walk like a mile and just to get in. And then the prices, I'm like, oh my God. I know, hey, I go to Giants games. I know how bad food can be, but they gave me a chicken plate for like $25. 2 dishes and a couple drinks was $65. I'm all like, damn. And it wasn't that great. The good food is supposed to be at the VIP tent where I used to hang out, the hospitality tent. Now they don't let me in there anymore. They're trying to put the squeeze. And $200, I think, $200 a day. And I heard that food was awful. Hopefully they don't suffer. It's owned by Lifetime now, so hopefully they don't squeeze the consumers too much and in the industry. Otherwise, they're just gonna start leaving. It's just not cool. Just make money off the volume and not just kind of squeezing the money out of all the people who take days off and travel far to be there. All right, so I'm gonna show you some product, some cool product, and then I'm gonna give you some real good news. So bear with me. Try to make this quick. So cool product. So many boots out there. I mean, it's so hard for someone like me to absorb, but these are cool shades from Julbo. This is the Density half frame. I try a lot of shades because they're super cool, and these are some of the best glasses I've ever used. Rudy Project is my favorite, but Julbo, turns out they're a mountaineering company. They know what's up. This weighs nothing, a couple grams, and check this out. So this is what I've been wearing in a lot of my coverage. I'm indoor. I can see everything perfectly, so clear, and then it changes color as well. It is so light and so grippy that it doesn't have any inertia. It doesn't move around while I'm riding or I'm walking around. So very cool. The arms are bendable. You just can't see the frame themselves. The other thing they have is called the Edge. And the Edge has interchangeable lenses. And the interchangeable lenses, what's the worst part about them? Is changing the lenses, right? So I never change the lenses. This one, you just push it this way, and boom, it's off. Interchangeable, because there's a magnet and there's a system to it. And trust me, if you don't take this out the right way, you can't get it off. It's crazy. I almost broke it. But because of that, it's super vented as well. Space all around. So Julbo. Downside, the lens might not look super stylish and pricey. $250 for this. I think 180 at the show, but man, don't they know mountain bikers are super cheap when it comes to accessories and stuff. All right, another cool product is new helmet from Specialized. So Specialized had a massive booth, and all they were showing were commuters, the Globe and the Tero X, but they do have a new downhill helmet. This is called the Dissident 2. It's patterned after their new styling, which is really cool. Their old downhill helmet, Dissident 1, looked awful. So Try it on. Super comfy, has different cheek pads, and oh my god, that is nice. So Loic Bruni's helmet, and what's cool about it, oh, you can use it with this if you don't like the goggles. What's cool about it is it has, oh man, it has 5 foam densities, EPS foam densities all around. So it's not just one to keep your skull from cracking, but it optimizes where you're gonna get hit. So even soft blow, concussion stuff is protected by a helmet like this. Specialized has been stepping up their shoe game. It seems there's room there. 510 is hasn't been developing a lot lately, and Ride Concepts is going down the tubes. They weren't at Sea Otter, by the way. So they have the 2FO flat synthetic, $120, and this thing is sweet. Like, it has the new Slipknot rubber, which is super tacky, and it is low rebound. So they're using their tire technology to give you grip with your pedal. And this one I like. This one I'm going to use a lot. This one's called the 2FO method. Super light, super grippy as well, and then boom, super comfy, you know. And I do love they've come a long way. I think 5-7 years since they started making the 2FO shoe, and every year it gets better. And I love the heel cups now. You know, they just keep you in there without hurting you. Nice shape to them. All right, some cool news. First is a good one, near and dear to me. The Shimano EP8 rattle is gone, or will be gone, meaning they have a new version called the EP801 that has eliminated it. And they said, we don't know exactly what caused it, but it's probably this part, and it's gone. So I rode it around for like 20 minutes while testing an automatic transmission bike, and I could not hear it at all. So that's the good news. They also have that automatic transmission bike. I have a video here, you should see it. Mind-blowing, because it shifts while you're coasting. So when you're done coasting, you pick up the pedal, you accelerate out of a corner, you're in the perfect gear. Anyway, so that's the good news. The bad news is, you know, it's not on bikes yet. It's been shipped to a few manufacturers, but it's the EP801. The EP8s have been getting more and more quiet over the revisions over the past 2 years, but it's the EP801 that's going to be super stealth quiet. So the old one used to be 500 watts, which they finally told me, and now they said it's 600, okay? But the peak torque is still 85. So what they're doing, I'm sure, is they're just giving you the peak torque at higher RPMs, because the EP8, it kind of dies out, you know, at a certain peak power, peak pedaling output. All right, in other drivetrain news, the TRP, DHR Evo drivetrain was out to test, and it is awesome. Awesome, I love it. It's current design, but they beefed up the derailleur, beautiful cassette, nice derailleur, and then that shifter is so beefy. It has multi-shift on the shifter if you want with a switch, and then the derailleur has 2 switches, you know, one for the swinging for the clutch, and the other is for the movement of the parallelogram. So super beefy and compatible with current designs. Shimano microspline is the interface for it. And of course, where have you been if you haven't heard of SRAM transmission? SRAM transmission was all over the venue. I mean, man, what a launch. But you know, I've been using it for a while, and it works good under power. You know, it's got a $600 cassette, so you probably don't want to power shift too much, especially on your e-bike. But it's out there, and it's cool to see it. We just need to see it in lower price points. Right, another cool news is visited VITUS, you know, a consumer direct brand from the UK. I think they had a relationship to Chain Reaction in the past, and they showed me a $4,000 bike. They're trying to get it under $4,000. That's full suspension, and it has a mid-drive motor powered by Bafang. They've been developing with Bafang, so I'm excited to see that one. Saw some NUKEPROOF bikes as well. So consumer direct players are definitely entering the market, and not only are they good for the consumer because they give you a lot for your money, but they're really waking up the rest of the traditional bike industry manufacturers. All right, another product here. I don't know if you guys know what this is. If you do, you're probably a parent or an e-biker. So this is the TOWHEE. The TOWHEE is one of the coolest products ever because it has a tuned bungee inside this case. And while you're in this zone, you're like floating in midair. So if you're a kid and you need to get up a 1,000-foot hill to shred with your dad, you need one of these. If you are an e-biker, your e-bike breaks, or you want to help out a buddy, you want to help someone who's injured or tired, tow them with this. And one of the cool new additions is you have a clip now. This you attach to the stem of the other rider. Before you had to do this, loop it first before the seat. This goes to the seat of the tower. Now you just have a hook. You go like that. So super easy. And then the three other things I'll show you. SKS has a really nice cage shifter. You can move your cage around. You can carry some tools, some tubes on the side. Love those guys. We Are One hung out with Dustin for a while because just amazing bikes. The Arrival and all their wheels made so well. ADP, he says he has 80 employees in Canada. Making carbon stuff there, so pretty cool. And then a lot of stuff are made for e-bikes now. E-bikes are kind of changing the industry, them and gravel bikes. But e-bikes have special needs because they're heavier bike stands, heavier bike racks, chains, tires, drivetrains, what have you. So it's definitely driving the industry, and it's selling a lot of bikes for sure. For 2023, it looks like 25% of the bike revenue is going to come from e-bikes. Now units is going to be around 10%, but the price points are higher. And where is this going? I just looked at in Austria, and they said they cracked 51% is now of all bike sales in Austria, and just a sample country, is e-bike related, but that accounts for about 70, 75, 79% of all revenue. It comes from e-bikes because they're higher price points. Okay. And finally, we'll close with an old friend of mine, Chris Currie, formerly of Speed Goat, supported Emtbr a long time ago, and then he was at Stans forever, changing the world at Stans, no tubes, and now he's at Ministry Cycles. I'll leave you images of his new bike right here. I think it's CNC, the aluminum, both halves, and then he glues them together because he can. And what he came out with was just something we haven't seen in craftsmanship. Enjoy the spring. It's going to be beautiful here in California with the Super Bloom and the Super Flow. Get out there. Let your bike take you for a ride and experience the wonders of this world after this very long winter. Thanks a ton.